Good. So far.
Okay.
Very good. Yeah. I thought, yeah.
Yeah, well, then we need to go.
Let's get a photo. Look, let's move from in front of the line.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Where's my Greek cousins? Nope. Duck lower, duck lower. Keep moving. Keep your mad ass moving. Who are these people? That's amazing.
I got you.
back. We love you.
Oh, that's us, that's us.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Guys, they're marching. Walk with them.
Oh wait, Ben! Ben!
Yeah. Yeah. I'm Bill. I'll help you get in.
Okay, if you want to have we can go to the we're about to do our first interview.
Spot.
I'm literally. I'm literally. Wait a second.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
This is the voice. What do you hear? This voice? Do you hear the sound? This is the hand mic.
Folks, this is dangerous. You gotta move back. This is dangerous. We gotta move it back for a minute.
Slow down. We're gonna slow it down.
You gotta try to keep the rope a little more. Alright. We're gonna keep moving to Madison.
Side street. It'll be better when we get out.
About a half block. Yeah. This is not the shot for you, for sure. You definitely don't want this shot. I promise. I promise. Right, this is not the best part, I swear. I swear. Right, money shots Madison.
Yeah, should we walk a little bit?
Blow it up. Blow it up.
Give us a little bit.
I don't know. Stacey's having a very hard time.
All members of the press, the best photo will be when we turn on Madison. Let's keep going. We need you to step out. We need the press to keep it going. We need the press to keep it going. Marshall's on the side street. Long on the side street. Sidewalks. Sidewalks.
to 54. All right, let's go. I'll lift up over the. Probably spread down now.
Watch out for the pole.
Back a bit. Back a bit. We need some more space. That's why I'm not in the we gotta keep going. We'll keep pausing. We're gonna pause again in a minute. Okay, we gotta keep walking. We're gonna pause again. We'll pause again. Okay, press, get ready. It's real weird. Don't even bother. It's real weird. It doesn't change.
I'm saying on Madison.
I think we're
No, we're walking on Madison. Yeah.
A little closer, I think, a little higher.
Supposed to happen.
Yeah, going direct to 54. But we'll stop at Madison before we turn. And then we'll go to 54th and 1st. We'll stop there.
Okay, Marshall.
All right, slow it down a little. Slow it down.
Tomorrow now, climate justice now, not tomorrow now. So climate justice now, not tomorrow now. 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 Come on. Climate justice now. All right, not tomorrow now. Climate justice now, 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 not tomorrow now. Let's go. Climate justice now, not tomorrow now. Come on. Climate justice now. Let's go. Not tomorrow now. All right. Climate justice now, not tomorrow now. 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 We need climate justice now, not tomorrow now. Climate justice now, not tomorrow now. Okay, climate justice now, not tomorrow now. Come on, climate justice now, not tomorrow now. All right, climate justice now.
Gotta close it in. Close it. Very narrow.
Move back, everyone.
They're going to give you a great shot.
Trying to make more space.
Right here. There's cars all in the stand.
Keep it going, keep it going.
Better world is possible. We are unstoppable.
Gotta keep moving. Gotta keep moving.
So keep it moving. Keep it moving. You need to use it. I'm saying, can you clarify on the megaphone? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I will be more specific to press. Participants, you can slow down. Participants, you can slow down. Press, please keep it moving.
Let's slow down a little bit. I feel like we're going a little fast. Jen, let's slow a little bit. They can walk fast.
All right.
York City with a clear-eyed demand for President Biden and all of our world leaders. We need you to phase out fossil fuels now. This is a clear-eyed, distilled ask. This isn't just about climate action now. This is getting to the culprit of the climate emergency, which is burning fossil fuels. And unfortunately, we have world leaders of major oil and gas producing countries like the United States who are not listening to our climate scientists and who are not phasing out fossil fuels, but instead going the opposite direction. Just this year, President Biden has already approved the Mountain Valley Pipeline, the Willow Project, and so many other mega polluting projects. Climate scientists have said that the only way we can actually stop the tragedies that we are feeling right now in the climate emergency is to stop the expansion and phase out. So we're here today to tell our leaders loud and clear, you need to phase out fossil fuels to survive our planet. And that is why we are here marching today. This Wednesday, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres will be holding a Climate Ambition Summit where he will be making world leaders say yes or no, are you going to be phasing out fossil fuels? We are told right now that President Biden is not going to be attending. It's unbelievable that the world's largest oil and gas producer will not be attending this historic summit. But we don't give up hope. We're not going to give up hope. President Biden, we need you to still step through those doors and to actually commit to no new fossil fuels, because that's the only way we are going to survive. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce our first speaker, Ms. Sharon Levine, who is the Executive Director of Rise St. James and a Goldman Environmental Prize winner.
And we'll keep rising up like we are doing today, because our lives depend on it. And you know what? With the stroke of a pen, President Biden can stop fossil fuel. He can do it now. We are asking President Biden to stop all fossil fuels. And if you don't, it's a death sentence for communities, especially in Cancer Alley in Louisiana. We can't wait any longer. We are in a climate emergency. This summer was the hottest yet. And right now, we are in the middle of hurricane season. The storms are getting bigger, and fossil fuels are making it worse. President Biden talks a lot about environmental justice and the climate crisis, but action speaks louder than words. Every new lease, every new plastic plant, every day that he refuses to end fossil fuels, President Biden is continuing to poison my family and my community. The time for President Biden is to act now. We demand that he stop all new fossil fuels approvals, phase out existing fossil fuels, and declare a climate emergency. President Biden, our lives depend on your actions today. If you don't stop fossil fuels, our blood is on your hands. Thank you.
Next, we have the Honorable Mary Robinson. She is the chair of the Elders, the former president of Ireland, and the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights.
Hello. I'm here as chair of the Elders, but I'm also here as a grandmother, an angry granny, because we are subsidizing what is destroying us. We are in need of a very rapid movement out, phasing out with just transition, phasing out of coal, oil and gas, and in my own country, Ireland, peat, turf. We need to do it with just transition for the workers who built up our economies. We mustn't forget that. But what we need to do is understand that there is a lot of money supporting denying the science or messing up with the science and also prolonging the life of fossil fuel. And this money, about 4 billion a year, is stopping us from understanding fully how serious the situation is. And I like to say we're actually on the cusp of a clean energy, healthier, fairer, safer world for all. We're moving in that direction, but we're not moving fast enough. It doesn't seem too difficult to move faster, but we need leaders to take seriously that we are in a crisis. And when you're in a crisis, you have to be in crisis mode to deal with it. Our house is burning, as Greta Thunberg has said. So the elders strongly support phasing out fossil fuel and incentivizing clean energy, which the Inflation Reduction Act is doing. We strongly support opening up the multilateral banks, the World Bank, the IMF, and the other banks, to provide much more money for developing countries to get clean energy. As I said, the elders are very involved in intergenerational dialogue. I'm very much involved in dialogue with Vanessa Nakate, my friend here, will be speaking to you, and many other young climate activists. You are giving me hope because you are on the right track. And we need to have leaders understand, get out of fossil fuel now. It is harming us. It is not right for our world. We are out of balance with nature. We're in a climate and nature crisis, and we have to move much more rapidly. The stock take that was done of what the governments are doing, their nationally determined contributions, show that all governments are not doing enough, but those most responsible are not doing nearly enough. And that is the United States, the European Union, but also countries, big emitters like Russia, China, India, Saudi Arabia, etc. So, yes, this march is particularly focusing on what's happening here in the United States, but it's a global problem. I'm delighted to be here on behalf of the elders. We are in total solidarity with you. You give me hope, because you are right, and leaders need to listen to you now. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Vanessa Nakate, the UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador and a worldwide climate justice activist.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Vanessa Nakate, and I'm a climate activist from Uganda, one of the countries that is heavily responsible. Can you hear me clearly now? Yes, I come from Uganda, one of the countries that is on the front lines of the climate crisis. The climate crisis is not a future threat. It is a present reality that is harming so many communities, especially in the global south, which communities are not responsible for this crisis. We know that the African continent alone is historically responsible for less than 4% of the global emissions. And yet so many Africans are already suffering some of the most brutal impacts of climate change. But we also know that countries like the United States is historically responsible for 29% of the global emissions. How can you compare that with Africa, with 54 individual countries, which is just responsible for less than 4%? This is unfair, This is wrong, and this is unjust. When we say that we want climate justice, we're not just talking about transitioning to solar panels. We are talking about leaving no one behind. We are talking about addressing the injustices that come with the climate crisis. We have seen what is happening in countries like Libya. Thousands of people dead, thousands missing, and so many livelihoods destroyed. We've seen in countries like Mozambique, thousands killed because of cyclones and many displaced. We've seen the drought in the Horn of Africa that has left over 20 million people on the brink of starvation. What else needs to be seen for our leaders to understand that we are in a crisis, that we are in an emergency, that they need to start treating this like a crisis? The people that are suffering right now, especially in our communities, many of them don't even know what climate change is, but they can understand the changes in the weather patterns. Many people that are displaced, they don't even know what 1.5 means, and yet the people that know the meaning of these words are continuing to fuel the climate crisis. In 2020, I wrote a letter to President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, and I asked them if they were ready to fight the climate crisis, to stand with the people and the planet. And I told them all we really want is a future that is equitable, that is clean, that is healthy for all of us. And I asked them, is that too much to ask, where the place we all call home is clean and healthy for all of us? Today, I'm not writing another letter because I believe the last one got lost in the mail. But I have a message, and the message is, listen to the communities that are on the front lines of the climate crisis. Listen to the science. The IEA has made it very clear. If we want to have a fighting chance of 1.5, then we cannot have any new fossil fuel investment. But remember, the disasters that I've talked about, they have all happened at 1.2. So meaning even 1.5 is not the ultimate survival. Communities are already suffering and people are already dying right now. And we need a massive scale-up of renewables, especially in the global south, where many countries are suffering from energy poverty. We recently had the Africa Climate Summit, and one of the solutions that was so heavily being proposed was the need for carbon markets. But again, these are solutions that are led by the interests of Western countries. We need solutions for our communities, and we have those solutions, solutions that won't leave us behind. My grandmother won't understand what carbon markets are, but if you choose a piece of land and you want to use it for carbon markets, she could lose her home. We shouldn't allow countries, corporations, to be given the license to pollute. We shouldn't allow corporations to have the license to destroy our lands, to destroy the air we breathe, and to poison the water that we drink. Enough is enough. We need our leaders to address the climate crisis, and we need them to start now. And that is why today I'm joining the march to end fossil fuels. Because we cannot have climate justice without an end of fossil fuels. We cannot have climate justice if our leaders are constantly talking about addressing the waves but not addressing the wind. Many of them will talk about solutions, but they won't talk about the elephant in the room. and the elephant is fossil fuels that are heavily responsible for the climate crisis. We cannot eat coal, we cannot drink oil, and we cannot have any new fossil fuel investments, and that is coal, oil, and gas. Thank you.
Thank
There's also a lot of people
Text you, or you want to, I'll text you within an hour.
to go back and up to block to the left. I'm going to give you a full... Back it up. Hey, Mark.
Over there.
Media! Stand on Madison! Stand on Madison! Media and press, stand on Madison!
We are going 3 blocks up this street. We want to give you a full wide shot. There's a cloud coming right now, and if you move, you'll get the shot. Please walk backwards, 30 steps backwards. If you are pressed, get out of the road.
I'm with the march, it's just they're not. Yeah.
You get down. 320 West 47, 10:30 a.m. Tuesday. IEN Earth.org. Indigenous Environment Network. IEN Earth.org.
Peace and love, y'all. How y'all doing? Climate justice. Climate justice. Climate justice. Are you ready for the new American Revolution? Are you ready for the new American Revolution? Say hell yeah. Say hell yeah. Say hell fucking yeah. That's what I'm talking about. We are the revolution. It's going to be our love, our heart, our vision that rebuilds America and saves it from itself. This is not just about saving our democracy. This is not just about saving our humanity. This is about saving the only planet we call home. And it has to be the craziest thing in the world that the U.S. government actually subsidizes its own self-destruction. How stupid is that? We continue to give taxpayer dollars to the fossil fuel companies that are killing our planet. That ain't right. That ain't right. And we continue to give almost $1 trillion a year to our military-industrial complex, which is the #1 contributor to carbon emissions in the world. And we give it $1 trillion a year. So as you know, Washington, it's not broken. It is operating by design. It has been designed for destruction. It has been designed for us to scratch, claw, fight, and kill each other because of our racial, ethnic, gender, and sexuality differences. But the new American Revolution includes every single one of us. Not just the 1/10 of 1%, not just property-owning white men. It's about everyone. And what we are doing here in motherfucking New York City is continuing to be the heartbeat and the soul of the nation. That is who we are. New York City is not just a financial capital. Get that financial capital shit out of here. Because it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you have no soul, you are impoverished as a human being. What we are talking about in terms of the new American Revolution, it's about all of us being a part of a new vision for humanity. One that doesn't solve global problems with weapons of war, but one that solves global problems with diplomacy, peace, and love. That is the new American Revolution. The new American Revolution is a global one, without hate, without division, without borders, and without self-destruction. And if you need, there's so many examples of the climate catastrophe we are living in. The hottest summer on record. Forest fires in Canada impacting New York City. We see drought that are killing farmers' ability to farm and provide food for their community. We see barren land now because of the heat in so many parts of the world, which leads to mass migration, which leads to limited resources, which leads to conflict. This is common sense to us, but unfortunately the powers that be continue to operate under the corporate power regime. So I ask you, what are we going to do about it? What do we want right now? Climate action? Climate action? Climate action? And let me tell you something, we're going to get it. And I'll close with this. Think of what we've been through over the last several years. We had a president in the White House who was literally a white nationalist. Because of his hate and incompetence, we had a global pandemic that was much more severe than it could have been if someone was competent in that damn seat. Think about those two things alone. It wasn't enough that he lost an election. Then he weaponizes social media and the hateful far right to push a big lie that now has people confused about what's the difference between the truth and the lie, facts and fiction. So he engaged in psychological warfare on the American people. That wasn't enough. He sued in 62 Supreme Courts across the country, lost 61 of them. That didn't stop it. He had 8 fake electors, Zeldor, 8 fake elected states. Fake electors signed that he won the election. Think about that shit. He literally, with those acts, committed a coup d'etat right there. And that wasn't enough. He sent them to Mike Pence. Mike Pence signed these documents. He said, no, I'm taking the real electors. And when that wasn't enough, he organized an attack on the U.S. Capitol. All this is happening at the same time our planet is burning. But guess what else is happening in Washington? You got the motherfucking squad in the house. You got my sister, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Presley, Cori Bush, Summer Lee, Delia Ramirez, Greg Casar, and motherfucking Jamal Bowman. And we are going to do everything in our power to make sure the American Revolution doesn't just happen here, but it happens in Washington as well. Are you with me? Are y'all with me? Are you with me? Climate change, climate change, climate change, climate change. Thank you so much. God bless you. I love you. Thank you.
We have some more people at the
Is that okay now, the audio?
You want to set up, we're turning on the corner of 50
Can you tell me if you hear well? Okay.
Let's go a little further back.
They also just need to keep it kind of at the end in 15 minutes now, like halfway, but they should have just put it.
All right, Michaela, are we ready? Okay, do you want to introduce yourself and tell people why you're here?
Sure. My name's Ashley Zuckerman. I'm here at this amazing march, hoping to end the age of fossil fuels, something that we've needed to do for a really long time.
It's so thrilling to be out here with thousands and thousands of people that are presenting such a new hopeful vision. What compelled you to take time out of your busy schedule to come to New York and do this?
Yeah, well, I mean, we see it everywhere. We see it around the world. We've heard it for 30 years. The scientists are telling us clearly what's going to happen, and now we're seeing it happen. We know that we need to act. We know that we're late in acting, and I feel like we've had many beginnings. This is an opportunity to be another beginning. This is 20,000 people. It's not enough. We need more. We need 100,000 in the next one. We need 1 million at the next one. We need to be we all need to be just showing up. We all need to be showing up for this change. We need to be sending a very clear message to our politicians that we will support them. We will support them if they act. We have an election year coming up. We need climate to be on the ballot. This is a huge fight, and we are very late in fighting it.
Well, you're so right. I mean, 20,000 sounds like a whole lot, but this will impact 8 billion people.
Oh, that's right. This cannot be the end. This is only the beginning. We need this moment to be an uptick. We need this last summer that we've had, the hottest on record, to be a lesson to us and to scare us into acting more. And so let's hope that, the amazing unity that's happening here from all these groups should be showing us that, hey, there's a place for us in this fight. There is an organization that you will agree with, that you can join, who will help act. I really just hope people take that message.
And that was going to be my next question. If you had a wish that everyone watching at home would do one thing, what would it be?
That's difficult, but I think everyone needs to find their own place in this movement. But the hardest thing to do is start. And once you start and once you meet people, first sign a petition, second show up to a march, third, join an organization, fourth, talk to your friends. Even that is something. And I guess something else I'll say is that it is hard. It is hard to have this happening around us. It is very difficult to keep having to think about it, to keep talking about it, and I understand. I do it myself, not wanting to do that every day and hiding from it and not wanting to think about this apocalypse that we're in danger of having. I get that. I guess something I see that's beautiful happening is that there are many people putting themselves on the line and their bodies on the line, getting arrested, making these small disruptions around the world, reminding us about the bigger disruptions. So I guess something I might say is this narrative that we have about these small disruptions at museums, at concerts and highways, at banks, we need to be thanking those people. We need to be saying, it's hard for me to keep thinking about this, but thank you for reminding me today. I'm going to try to do better. I'll try to act with you as well.
That's such a good point, and it's something we don't do enough. We sort of treat the activist class as if they love to do this, but it's difficult.
It's difficult. They do not want to be doing this. No one here wants to be here. Like, everyone would prefer to be doing other things, and the activists especially, that is not what they love doing. They would much prefer to be anywhere else, and so we should just support them. Let them do the more extreme so that we can do the lesser work of just joining a march. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Of course, Jocelyn.
Here,
Really,
for
yeah,
talking
nice to
to
meet
us.
you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Have a great day. All right. How's it going?
intersections, but let's get through this narrow spot.
I was just going to say we have like
We're
6
trying.
blocks.
We're trying. I know, we're trying. We're halfway. We'll stop again at the intersections, but we're trying to make up a little time.
Right.
So,
Yes. Hopefully line and then.
okay. So, hi.
Hi.
Nice to be marching with you today. Do you
What
want
a
to
pleasure.
introduce yourself to everyone at home?
Sure. My name's Jefferson White. I'm an actor. I've lived in New York for about 10 years, and I feel lucky to be here marching today with so many fired up, enthusiastic people.
So, why would you take time out of your wonderful artistic life to come here and be in this sweltering heat with thousands of people?
I mean, it really feels like you can't escape the reality of climate change at this point. Like every day, the news cycle is just full of floods, earthquakes, just catastrophes heightened because of climate change. So if anything, yeah, this is the only antidote to that despair. You know, you can't really escape it. So it feels so much better to come here to throw myself into action and participate in this kind of movement, you know?
I love that you say that because it's like action really is the best antidote to despair, you know?
Yeah, it's so lonely. I mean, not you, but for me, sitting in my house just staring at the internet, watching the world melt and fall apart is so depressing. But coming out here and being surrounded by 20,000 people reminds you that you're not alone. This is not, the future isn't just bleak. The future isn't just a disaster. The future can be beautiful if we want it to be. And that's not a lonely thing, it's a joyful thing. It's a thing in community. Look around you. There's so many people who also want the future to be a beautiful, incredible thing, you know? So for me, this is the antidote to that loneliness and that feeling of despair, you know?
And it's like, it's so encouraging to realize that we all feel that way, you know?
Yeah, you're not alone. You're not alone in feeling concerned about it, anxious about it. You're not alone in feeling sad about it. So come out here with 20,000 other people. By yourself, it feels impossible to make any kind of meaningful change. I think we all feel really helpless. But when you come out here, you don't feel helpless. You feel surrounded with power, with people power. You know, it's a huge movement. So this is also the antidote to that feeling of helplessness, I think.
And like that these problems aren't technological. We have the technology. We just need the emotional and political will.
That's exactly right. We know exactly what it takes. There are solutions. There's not going to be some moonshot that comes around and solves the problem for us. We know the solutions. We know what to do. We're just mustering the political will to do it. And for me, it's incredibly inspiring to see this. This is power. Like, this is political power. The power to shut down, you know, the biggest city in the country, one of the cultural and economic capitals of the world. We can shut this city down. That's power, you know, and we can leverage this power in a meaningful way. We can have a beautiful future. The future can be incredible. The future can be more beautiful than our wildest dreams. It doesn't have to be sitting around waiting for your basement to flood and then the first floor of your house to flood and then the second floor of your house to flood. You don't just have to wait for the water to sweep you away. This is the answer, you know, this is the solution.
It's such a good metaphor because it's not going to be like one disastrous like meteor. It's going to be that like slow, you know?
Yeah, and it's also not going to be one glorious solution, you know? There's not going to be one moment that tips the scale in either direction. There's going to be a lot of discrete actions over the course of the coming decades. And that's beautiful. There's so many opportunities to get involved. So I, for one, I just feel lucky to be able to, there's been so much work done. There's so many other people here. It's been easy for me to just get on the subway and show up. It's really easier to show up and easier to participate than you think because of all the work done by these organizers, you know?
This is definitely becoming my favorite memory of Times Square being this busy.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Normally it's a nightmare, and today it's a beautiful dream, yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. Great to meet you. Thank you out there for considering taking part, for taking part. Everything you're doing is a brave step towards a beautiful future. So thank you for what you're doing, whatever it is. We can do it. The future can be incredible.
Sorry about that.
That's your job.
How are you?
Let's walk through this intersection and pause at the next. Gotta make a goal.
They're like coming to the car next.
Yeah, I think so.
Of course, yeah.
But I love it though. I love it.
again at First. We're going to stop again at First Avenue.
Just like
our street! Our street! Our street! Our street! Our street!
Slow down. Don't stop. No. We gotta get down.
We can go slow.
You guys, they're running up like this.
Well, they should slow down. We all should slow down.
Thank you for just the strength to fight the fight that must be had. I feel y'all a particular way this morning because although I represent CPD, the Center for Popular Democracy and its incredible base building, power building organizations like I see you, NYCC right here, who are focused on ensuring regular people own their rightful place in self-governance, that we capture our share of governing power so that we could take the actions that humanity needs. And so although I represent these incredible, powerful leaders and organizers, I actually stand before you as a daughter, as a mother, as a human being that just has one question. And that is, I did yoga this morning. I'm good. And the question is, how do we wish history to remember us? How do we wish that our children, our grandchildren, perhaps our future selves remember our actions today or our lack of action? See, I come to this movement, I'm taking this mic out. I come to this movement remembering, in fact, the congressman reminded me of this, remembering those t-shirts that said, "Save the planet." And now, in retrospect, I wish the message was save yourselves. Save humanity. Because this summer showed us the type of horror that is possible, y'all. Unprecedented flooding, horrific fires. And we're bracing ourselves. It's just the beginning of hurricane season. And so as a mother, as a daughter, as a human, I am livid at the we practically announce. We doing our best. Now, I will admit, I'm a Democrat. Democratic Socialist, y'all. But I am disappointed at my leader and my party and my people who would rather capitulate to money over people, over my children, over you, over my mom, over my dad, over those who will be, those whose future we put in peril today. And so, like I say, you can't be a little bit pregnant and you can't be a little bit in the climate fight. All right? And so, I'm not going to belabor it. We know what must be done. We know why we are here. I'm going to leave you with the demands, because I'm an organizer and I make demands of the powerful, like all of you and all of us. And my demand is be a leader in this movement. Remember that an activist takes action, but a leader organizes people into formation to claim power. And that is the demand I make of you and of us. So go home, talk to your neighbors, join organizations, get outside your house and off your computer, go to a city council meeting, send emails to everyone. God, our bosses, our leaders, our neighbors, our pastors, everyone needs to join the fight to save humanity. Because I think the planet may survive, but the question is, will we? Thank you, mis hermanos, hermanas.
And next we have Susan Sarandon, actress, mother, and activist. Susan, off to you.
I don't believe I have to follow that. That's just incredible. I'm an angry granny also. I want to first of all shout out to the students of NYU who managed to get NYU to divest from fossil fuels. That's how you get it done, and they are joining 250 other institutions and schools who are also divested. I want to shout out to the people of Louisiana who set the example and stopped that plant, to all the kids that are protesting now for Cop City, to all the First Nations that showed us how to do it at Standing Rock, even though very few news organizations, except I see Amy Goodman here, they did go. But as we can see, it is not going to happen from the top down. All of this energy is what's being brought, especially by the youth. Look at these kids. Look at these kids. Yes, give them a hand of applause because they have the energy. It is their future that's on the line. And they are not Democrats. They are not Republicans. They are independent people who go for what needs to be fixed and are not slaves to any party and are going to create the world that we need. And they know what's going on much more than I did when I was getting arrested at your age. So we know it's not going to come from the top down. The only person has been the Secretary General of the UN, who did come forward and said there's, among other things, there are surging temperatures demand a surge in action. Leaders must turn up the heat for climate solutions. We don't have a moment to lose. We are acting as if incremental conversations about incremental change are going to make the difference. As Mary said, we are in an emergency. We are in a flooding, well, I don't have to tell you, burning globe. And as long as profits are being made, there's no attempt to actually make the difference. We can do what we can do. You can go off plastics, you can turn off your tap, you can get a bamboo, but the bottom line is Exxon, Chevron, all of these companies that are polluting, especially people without a voice. They are, even Chevron was lost a lawsuit in Ecuador, $9.5 billion, thanks to some very good lawyers, and they have not paid a penny of it. right? They have not been prosecuted. All of these companies that are dumping and ruining our globe are not held responsible. So it's going to be up to us. The U.S. is number one as the largest oil and gas producer. We heard Obama brag about this, actually, about how much oil and gas he was producing, and accounts for 1/3 of all planned oil and gas expansions for the next few decades. Just this last year alone, President Biden has approved mega polluting projects like Willow and the Mountain Valley Pipeline. I'm sure you all know about this. Even though there were very, very strong demonstrations and letters, and I've signed a bunch of them and everything, they went right ahead and did it, okay? He went right ahead and did it. This particular grouping today is about trying to put pressure on him, because the good news is he could sign an executive order and change everything. Now, maybe we stand a bit of a better chance because it's an election year is coming up, and he hasn't really fulfilled his promises from the last time not to expand any gas and oil. So what we're asking for is to stop all federal approvals for new fossil fuel projects. Yeah, I wish I could do now. Yeah, now, okay. Phase out production of fossil fuels on federal public lands and waters. That seems obvious, right? I mean, please. Declare a climate emergency and to halt oil exports and investments in fossil fuel projects abroad, as well as lead a just transition to clean, community-centered energy at home. And it would also seem to make sense, since almost all of our aggressions worldwide are about oil. And the war itself is like one of the biggest polluters that you could possibly imagine. So if we could end our dependence on fossil fuel, obviously we would not feel the urge to completely invade so many countries that we have invaded, right? So all I can say now is thank you all for being here. If you look out at this group, it's a really nice mixed group, all ages, all colors, all different kinds of groups. People are lining up behind here. You guys give me hope, and you guys give me hope. And what we have to do is take responsibility and press those that are at the top to finally step up. There's no way to deny that this world is in trouble, and it has possibly even gone past the tipping point. So, as someone earlier said, it is urgent. We have to talk to everybody, but most of all, call your representatives. The squad could get out there and get together and actually push a little bit harder, I think. He left already, but anyway. Thank you all for being here. Let's do this. Look around and see that you are not alone. That's really important, to understand that we are in this all together and we can make a difference. And there have been people who have shown us the way. First Nations have been incredible in terms of explaining and educating us on the importance of stopping these pipelines. It's now time for us to step up even more. And I thank everyone who has done the hard lifting so far. But it's now we have to put pressure on this election year coming up, on the people that are going to tell you this is the most important election of your life, yet again. And it is important, but these promises are not enough. Let's get something done before it's time to vote. Let's not wait till after it's time to vote. Let's demand that if they want our votes, show us something. Thank you, guys. Bye.
everyone. My name is Emma Lou Beretta, and I'm a 17-year-old climate justice activist with Fridays for Future New York City. I am speaking today on behalf of youth who are voting for the first time in the 2024 election. We are all here today because we care about community, justice, and our planet. These are human rights, rights which cannot be met if we do not stop producing, funding, and using fossil fuels. There is one man in particular who holds a lot of power right now, and he needs to choose between our people and the fossil fuel industry. So I have a message for him. President Biden, we have one request: end fossil fuels. And if you do not, there will be serious consequences for our communities, our planet, our future, and your next election. I started in this fight when I was 12 years old. When I learned about the crisis we are in, I began organizing immediately. I started organizing my school for climate strikes and rallies, and have committed my life to this fight for the past 5 years. I knew I had to give my all to try to curb the climate crisis when I was only 12 years old. I do not understand why that is so clear to a 12-year-old and not clear to an 80-year-old man who is the President of the United States. President Biden, perhaps you think that you have nothing to lose by doing nothing. Some of us are not so lucky. I have lost my childhood, my heritage, and my mental health to the climate crisis. My ancestors in Korea worshipped trees which were cut down by colonizers. We lost a vital part of our culture and heritage because of climate colonialism. Communities today are being burned, flooded, and crumbled to the ground because of this crisis. People are dying, and Biden, their blood is on your hands. The climate crisis is a personal issue to everyone in marginalized communities, and I am here to tell you it is a personal issue for you too. Biden, there are two sides to this fight: people versus fossil fuels. You must pick. You must declare a climate emergency, stop approving fossil fuel infrastructure, provide a just transition, and earn our votes in the 2024 election. Or you can ignore us, and we will ignore you. You cannot win this election without the youth vote. It is not possible. And there's only one way to earn our votes: end fossil fuels. Biden, you should be scared of us. We hold the power of the people, the power you need to win this election. If you want to win in 2024, if you do not want the blood of my generation to be on your hands, end fossil fuels.
Thank you, Emma. Next, we have Rachel Rivera with New York Communities for Change.
Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Rachel Rivera. I'm with New York Communities for Change, NYCC. I am also a mother of 6. I do live in New York, Brownsville, Brooklyn. I am here today to talk about how climate change and the crisis has changed my life, because all of our lives will soon be changed also if Biden continues to fail to act. I remember to this day, like it was yesterday, when Hurricane Sandy hit. Regular day, getting ready for bed, I heard a cracking noise. I went to my then 4-year-old daughter Marisol's room. As soon as I take her out of the bed, the ceiling caved in onto it. I lost everything: family heirlooms, pictures I would never get back. All I had on was a t-shirt, shorts. Marisol was with her pajamas and the blanket she was sleeping in. Now imagine, you have to evacuate immediately from your home, losing everything in one single night. 13 years later, she is 18 and still suffers PTSD. When it rains, she'll come to me and say, "Ma, are we going to die?" I cannot no longer lie to her. I don't know. None of us knows what's going to happen. We don't know if we're going to get other hurricanes, earthquakes, or wildfires. Tomorrow's never promised. That is not the only thing that happened to my family. It's not the end. When Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, we lost everything. I even lost a family friend, making Marisol's PTSD even worse. Now, that's why I'm here today, to tell President Biden that communities like mine, my family, always see the worst of climate crisis, the firsthand frontliners, but also the last to see real change. Is that right? So I'm here to not only fight for myself, but for my kids, for my grandkids, for future generations that are here to see a better planet, not this planet that is going on now with these fossil fuels. A message to President Biden: we will not stop marching, protesting, knocking down your doors for you to listen and fossil fuel. Our lives depend on it today. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Next, we have Dr. Crystal Cavalier with 7 Directions of Service, a key fighter against the Mountain Valley Pipeline.
Makudamin Chin Kiohe, Nahal Pipi say, Mima Crystal, Mima Okanichi Saponi, Watua. First, I just want to thank the Nalape for letting us be here on their lands. And yes, I am from North Carolina fighting the MVP Southgate, MVP Mainline. And that is a pipeline we've been fighting for 10 plus years. And I couldn't have done it without Power, Appalachian Voices, and a whole host of other people. But what I want people to know is we are here today to demand President Biden that he has to do a just transition to get us off of fossil fuels. It's this 2030, we can't wait. It is a climate emergency now. People are dying in our community. This pipeline is going through sacred rivers, sacred mountains, and just, you have to come and see it. We need your help to stop the Mountain Valley Pipeline. And like Sharon, our communities will be dying. We have to end fossil fuels, no more frack gas. And you know what? We really have to come together and unite. And I'm so glad to see, I haven't seen this many people in my life. There's so many people here, but we have to come together and stand in unity. And what do we want? We want climate justice when? Now. So when you guys hear that chanting in the march, now, now. Thank you so much, Jean.
Okay, we have 2 more speakers. Don't worry. The march will start at 1:15, so we still have time. All right, Alex Beecham with Food and Water Watch.
Thanks. Thanks so much. I'm Alex Beecham with Food and Water Watch. I traveled here today all the way from Brooklyn, and I'm excited to be here to talk a little bit about what we've won in New York, right? So today, tens of thousands of us will march to demand that President Biden stop fossil fuels. And look, we have a lot more to do in New York, but we have led the way. We've won real stuff, and I'm going to tell you what that is. So a little less than a decade ago, New York banned fracking, an action almost no state has taken in the country, and an action President Biden is not even close to doing. We banned fracking. Since then, we've stopped one fracked gas project after another, pipelines, power plants, storage facilities, and most excitingly, we just banned fossil fuels in all new buildings, both in New York City and now statewide as well. Yeah, it's exciting. And look, the way we did all of that was normal people coming together like we're doing today at this march, right? This isn't some blue state New York thing, right? I mean, think about the people we won that from. The disgraced Andrew Cuomo. Yes. Governor Kathy Hochul. These aren't leftists. These are centrists. And when we fight, when we come together, when the climate movement demands and relentlessly pressures our elected officials, we win, and we can win federally too. We just have to keep making it happen. Keep marching, keep taking action. When we fight, we win. Thanks so much.
All right, and finally but not least, Peter Kalmus, the scientist with the NASA Jet Propulsion Lab. He only speaks for himself, not for NASA.
Hey everybody, so I'm Peter Kalmus. I'm a NASA climate scientist speaking on my own behalf. We are currently on a pathway to lose basically everything. The cause of this heat nightmare that we're in right now is fossil fuels. And our leaders around the world, including President Biden, are still expanding fossil fuels, approving Mountain Valley Pipeline, approving the Willow Project, expanding drilling on federal lands. It is a form of insanity. It's taking us deeper and deeper into irreversible planetary emergency. This is not something that we can just reverse. It's not like cleaning up garbage in a park. However hot it gets, that's how hot it's going to stay for generations. I don't know why I need to stand here and say this. I am a scientist. The scientists of the world have spoken. We have to stop expanding fossil fuels and ramp down fossil fuels as quickly as we can. It could not be more clear. I've got 2 kids in high school. I am terrified for their future. I'm terrified for my own future right now. Things are burning and flooding, and the smoke is getting worse. The heat waves are getting worse. Will we be able to have food for 8 billion people? When will we see heat waves that have millions of deaths over the course of a few days? Because you have to understand, too, that every single year this gets worse. Every little bit of fossil fuel we burn makes the planet a little hotter and makes all of these impacts get worse. We are so clearly in a fucking climate emergency. Why won't President Biden declare it? I feel so gaslit that it's insane. It's so obvious. My kids know what's happening. 12-year-olds know what's happening. Elementary school kids know what's happening. And this is a task of cosmic importance, in my opinion. This is the only planet in the universe that we know that has life. And we are on the brink of the 6th mass extinction. We are on the brink of losing absolutely everything. There is no politics on a dead planet. There's no economy on a dead planet. There is no democracy on a dead planet. And it is so fucking insane that the people in charge can't see this. There is no way to escape this. We have to turn the tide away from fossil fuels. Forget direct air capture. Forget planting trees. Forget carbon offsets. Forget all of that bullshit. There's not going to be a technological solution. The cause is fossil fuels. We have to end fossil fuels. Currently, the White House has no plan for ending fossil fuels. They're still expanding it. They're still subsidizing it. That means they have no plan for dealing with the decreasing habitability of our planet due to global heating. So we will rise up and fight. We have no choice. The people in power are failing us. We have to come together and fight. That's the only way, and that's what we're going to do.
Okay, we are actually out of time for Q&A, so we won't be doing that, but we have several spokespeople in the audience, and we are happy, us in the blue shirts will connect you. One final note, though. We have heard a call here for actual leadership, and we actually have a vacuum in President Biden, but just on Friday, California Governor Newsom and Attorney General Bonta filed a groundbreaking lawsuit taking on big oil in California. So we want to lift up California leadership for being the 5th largest economy in the world, the 3rd largest producing oil state in the country. And he is showing leadership. We want President Biden to do the same. Phase out fossil fuels. Thank you.
Come on. We ended fossil fuels. We let me hear the voice of the people. Come on. With the power of the youth. With the front line. Go ahead. We ended. Come on. Let me hear your voice. Everybody. With the power. With the front line. We ended fossil fuels. We and do it 2 more times. Let them know. With the front line. Let's go. With the front lines, with the truth. We ended fossil fuels. We ended fossil fuels. Let's go. With the power of the youth. With the front lines, with the truth. We ended fossil fuels. We ended fossil fuels. Yes, so. As our relatives come in, we give gratitude to the ancestors of this land for having us here. Make some noise. And we give gratitude for all of our own ancestors who brought us here in this moment. Make some noise. Wepa, wepa. We give gratitude to the land that sustains us, the water that sustains our lives, and the air that sustains our lives. Let me hear you say, thank you. And we give gratitude to those we are with today, the voices who we will now join in this moment. And if Ade is here, join us on stage. We're going to sing this again during the rally, but now's the time to do it like we mean it. We're going to do this. When the heat gets high, when the smoke rolls in, when the people rise, when you hear us sing, it's the end of fossil fuels, the end of fossil fuels. When the heat gets high, when the smoke rolls in, when the people rise, when the people rise, and you hear us sing, it's the end of fossil fuels, the end of fossil fuels. When the heat gets high, when the smoke rolls in, when the people rise, and you hear us sing, it's the end of fossil fuels, the end of fossil fuels. Sing that with us. When the heat gets high, when the heat gets high, when the smoke rolls in, when the people rise, and you hear us sing, it's the end of fossil fuels, the end of fossil fuels. When the heat gets high, when the heat gets high, when the smoke rolls in, when the smoke rolls in, when the people rise, and you hear us sing, it's the end of fossil fuels, the end of fossil fuel. When the heat gets high, when the smoke rolls in, when the people rise, and you hear us sing, it's the end of fossil fuels, the end of fossil fuels. Say it's the end, it's the end of fossil fuels, it's the end of fossil fuels.
Make some noise for yourself, beautiful people. We are here to demand a just transition. That's the mission. We know that the fossil fuel corporations have known for decades about the dangers of continually going down the same path, and they still chose to do so. We are here to demand generations of today and future generations have the water and the clean air that they deserve. Yes.
Right now, we got the amazing honor to open up this rally from the city of New Orleans, New York. Show some love for Don Richard.
Welcome to the Electro Revival.
We're here for one heart, one sound, one message.
That's the metaphor right there.
We know our message. Listen, take of years. I'm in the pocket of fucking with my phone and see. I'm just a New Yorker blueprint is us. We have the message. We have the sound. We gotta come together. Are we together today? I can't hear you. Are we together today? Hey. Who gonna get down bad? You mad at my details? Come on, I say bounce. Keep the weapon on. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm a part of a place that is riddled with fossil fuels and petrochemicals. We know what this is. And we chose to be here all the way from New Orleans to be here in New York. So if you're from the South or if you're from a place that's experiencing this, put your hands in the air. If you felt this, I am the genre. I felt this. I live next to it. So I wanted to be here to sing with you guys, to get you to dance, to get excited about the message we have. Are we ready? Ladies, come on, shake. I want to dance with y'all. Can I do that? Come on, y'all. Hey. I want to go back in my city where people cared about us. In New Orleans where they used to love us. So I wrote this song. Listen. There is a woman in Somalia scraping for blood on the roadside. There's a force stronger than nature, keeps her in the night. I'm trying to find purpose, but I'm lost in your service. Trying to go back to where the love was important, not just love. I can't find the words to say what I want.
Yeah.
yourselves to the world?
Sure. My name is Nadine.
Hi, Nadine.
Hi, my name is Greg Schwadock.
I love your climate clock. Could you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, I don't really know much. You should ask Greg.
Oh, okay. Would you like to tell us about your climate
Sure.
clock?
Yeah, this is our window of hope. It's deadline and lifeline. It's the same as the clock at Union Square, the monumental clock. Yeah, so it's saying that we have our window of hope that we have less than 6 years to get to 100% renewable energy, according to the IPCC, to have a 2/3 chance to stay below 1.5 degrees Celsius warming. So essentially, we really need to move fast, to act in time, hashtag act in time, to, to save civilization, to, have a world for the next generation, for my generation and hers. Yeah.
How does this make you feel?
Happy?
Does it make you feel hopeful to see all these people out here today?
Yes.
What would you tell the people that are sitting at home?
Well, I don't really know.
They should come out here. I feel like, I don't know, not trying to lead the witness here, but
They should come.
do you want to tell Nadia? Do you want to on 3 say act in time? Act in time.
Acting time. Acting time.
Act in time. Act TV. Act in time. Act TV. Act in time. Big fans. Big fans.
thanks so much, you guys. So happy to see you.
Yeah. Can I do one more? I think I'm from New Orleans. I went through Hurricane Katrina. And I wrote this record to express the perfect storm when my community comes together. We got caught in the storm, but I think if we have more...
And that's the real problem with my college. Where is he? Because I'm working. If you have to be there.
Looking for a life support, caught in a perfect storm with you. I'm caught in I'm caught up in a storm with you. Put your hands up if you've been in the storm. Put your hands up if you've been in the storm. I'm in the storm. New York is so cold 'cause I'm with you. We in the storm with you. We in the storm together. I see you petrochemicals, stop hurting us. Stop killing us. Stop killing us. I'm caught up in a storm. Can y'all put your hands up? I want to see it. I didn't see it enough. You gon' remember our name. I want to see you all the way in the back. Put your hands up. They gon' remember us. You gon' remember our name. Imagine all the people we're living for today. Listen, 'cause I told the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. Well, everything's made to be broken. We just want you to know we are. They gon' remember our name. Thank y'all so much.
Welcome! This is the spot! Hi everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Beta. I'm going to be your MC today, with Winsome. Let's hear some noise for my co-MC. That's right, that's right. I want to take a minute to welcome every single person that is here today, okay? Because you could be anywhere today. You could be at the park, at the library, with your family, but you made a choice to be here today. That's right, make some noise. I want to welcome the folks that traveled from outside New York City. So many internationally, yes. Earth defenders from Ecuador, straight from Ecuador, came here today. Ecuador, make some noise! They just won the largest fight ever to protect the rainforest. Yes, they are leading the way. Give it up, give it up, give it up. so real quick, right? My name again is Beta. I work for a place called Center for Popular Democracy.
Give it up!
We are the largest grassroots organization in this country, working with Black, Indigenous, people of color, low-income communities. Those are our people we organize.
CPD!
But don't get it twisted, y'all. We are one of the dozens of organizations that help make today happen.
Yes.
And we are one of the hundreds of organizations that endorse this march. So give it up to all of y'all.
Yes.
All right. How many of you have heard of a call and response? All right. I'm a born and raised New Yorker. Lifelong New Yorker. All right, so you know what you need to say when I say, New York.
No, that was weak.
No. Ready? York. That's a proper New York hello. If you need to find a New Yorker, that's how you find them anywhere in the world. All right. Now, I want to make sure we have some amazing speakers today. And when I know somebody's listening to me as a New Yorker, I say, you heard? All right, I'll say you heard. You guys say, that's right. Let's hear it. You heard?
That's right.
You heard?
That's right.
That's right, all right. All right, one more. We're going to practice one more. When we say, fossil fuels are killing us, you all say, end fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are killing us.
End fossil fuels.
Fossil fuels are killing us.
End fossil fuels.
All the way in the back. Fossil fuels are killing us.
End fossil fuel.
All right, let's see how good they do, Winsome. Let's see how good they do. Ready? You go.
Fossil fuels are killing us. Come on, fossil fuels are killing us. I said fossil fuels are killing us. Come on, fossil fuels are killing us.
All right, y'all, you got one more chance. And I want the people at the United Nations. We're at the United Nations right now, and I'll tell you why. I want Biden and every world leader to hear you on this next one. All right? You heard? You heard?
You heard?
Ready? Fossil fuels are killing us. Fossil fuels are killing us. Great.
Give yourself a round of applause. That was good. Thank you.
Dope. All right, why we're here today. Like I said, the United Nations is hosting a first of its kind Climate Ambition Summit with world leaders this week, okay? In order to participate in that summit, world leaders had to come with a plan to end fossil fuels. We are watching our world collapse. We know who is to blame. And we cannot continue to extract, to approve more fossil fuel projects. We cannot continue. We must end fossil fuels. You heard?
Yes!
All right, let me pass it to Winsome.
My name is Winsome Pendergrass, and I'm a proud member of New York Communities for Change! And I can't left out my proud politician group, Workers' Family Party! We are the people for the progressives. We put progressives in office, WFP, and I'm also a member of
housing justice for all. And I am also a member of CPD. So, as I said before, my name is Vincent Pendergrass, delegate member of New York Communities for Change, and my co-host, Beta, is standing here. We are both nervous, so show us some love. Thank you. A great big New York welcome to all of you who come from out of state and you flew in from another country, another time zone. Welcome to New York! Okay, so you're going to do this one next. Just go right here. Or you want to do it? Our first speaker is first in many ways. They are the first people to occupy this land. I would like to introduce to you an earthy brother, Sachem Hart Storm of the Saganakok people right here in New York City. Okay. Make some noise as you welcome him to the stage. And Sage. And I was told, and Sage too. So sorry. Make some noise. Welcome them. Welcome them. Welcome them. Indigenous people, welcome them.
Hi everyone, my name is Garakwineta. I'm the bear from the Bear Clan and I'm from Gahnawage. I brought here people from the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. I've seen a lot today and it makes me really happy to see a lot of Ungwehue, the first original peoples, to come together for this. And I want to start to open with the Ahandu Gare Wadekwa, which is our Thanksgiving address. So. Ganjokwa, so the Hosios Gatnigari Westane, God, the Ahandu Gare Wadekwa, one I had to. Aguego Asgard, what's my new need, and you're there to know her adune, Ungwesua, Togadine Optin, about Nigorda. Aguego Asgard, what's my new need, and you're there to know her adune, you kiss you can Istahazi and Zade, Togadine Optin, about Nigorda. Aguego Asgard, what's my new need, and you're there to know her adune, got Negardunio, Togadine Optin, about Nigorda. Aguego Asgard, what's my new need, and you're there to know her adune, Gazusua, Togadine Optin, about Nigorda. Aguego Asgard, what's my new need, and you're there to know her adune, Jen Hackwane, Ostic with the Gaha, honest, on it was a red, and it was a head, Togadine Optin, about Nigorda. Aguego Asgard, what's my new need, and you're there to know her adune, Nunquasua, Togadine Optin, about Nigorda. Aguego Asgard, what's my new need, and you're there to know her adune, Gayeri Nigawarage, Togadine Optin, about Nigorda. Aguego Asgard, what's my new need, and you're there to know her adune, Gunjakwa, Asgard, Togadine Optin, about Nigorda. Aguego Asgard, what's my new need, and you're there to know her adune, Ozida Angua, Togadine Optin, about Nigorda. There to know her adune, Yukis Togorda, the Werdas, Togadine Optin, about Nigorda. Aguego Asgard, what's my new need, and you're there to know her adune, uses Sagorian, Scardiade, Togadine Optin, about Nigorda. Aguego Asgard, what's my new need, and it's to know her adune, Sagoti, Anjaknakar Garapa, Togadine Optin, about Nigorda. Aguego Asgard, what's my new need, and it's to know her adune, Sagoya Dizu. Tony O'Hanaget and it's Nahoda as Girda, easy can answer Nigorda, the teeth, and it's Zira Yamako and it took it in the afternoon of what Nigorda. Yo.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to introduce my cousin here, Chief Dwayne Perry of the Ramapo Lenape.
Wanabazu, Niki Kiai, Ben Mibuku Makwa, Netela Mapu, Wawashishi, Odui Demiwa, Gumseshen Megwa, Chief Perry of the Ramapo Lenape people, the people of whose earth we are now trod upon. I would just like to share a few thoughts. When we arrived upon this Turtle Island, we were children of the earth. Today we have found ourselves masters over the earth, masters of dumping millions of gallons of toxic chemicals into the Hudson River so that one day your children's feet can turn green in the middle of the night. That was stopped because of people like yourselves, which really means going forward, each and every one of us need to accept the charge that we are now guardians of the earth, guardians of the water, the air, and the sea. That means of all of the people of the water, the air, and the sea. And in order to have a guardian and to be a guardian of tomorrow, each and every one of us must act now in a good way, in a beauty way, in a wonder way. And I would ask each and every one of you every day in some way to share a kindness with each other, to share a kindness with the water, the people of the water, the people of the air and the earth. A small kindness, because that kindness is truly the answer to someone's prayers, the answer to something you didn't step on, something you didn't hook, something you didn't throw back, something that will enrich the earth with each breath it takes. So I would like to embrace each and every one of you, not as what can we do, but we are here together as relatives. We are all children of the earth, and thus we are all responsible for the actions of the earth. So let me ask each and every one of you to rise up in your spirit and to once again walk with pride, to be a keeper, a shepherd of all those who plied upon this turtle island. Nishi, 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 Umbamati. And I'd like to turn it over to my relative here, Hawkstorm.
Indigenous peoples are on the front line of extractive industry. Let's just soak that in right now, because you know what? We're only 5% of the population, and we're protecting 80% of the world's biodiversity. Right now in the Amazon, we're fighting against Marco Temporal. Marco Temporal is what the government wants to do to take away the demarcated lands of the indigenous peoples, because they've already taken all of the land that's not theirs. And what that will do is allow for genocide of indigenous peoples today, right now, so that they can extract their precious minerals and fossil fuels so that we can have these luxuries that we have here. Right now, this is happening. Right now, in the deserts, they are mining indigenous territories for our batteries, for our lithium batteries, for the nickel, cardamom, the gold. We need a more sustainable future, and we need to come together to make that happen. We need to keep these minerals in the ground. We need to keep this oil in the ground, and we need to work together to find some other way to do this. So right now, I'm very grateful to see all of your faces here, but I want to see it continue, and I want to see what happens next, and how we can do this together.
Tell Biden to declare a climate emergency now.
It's not on. Oh, here we go. Let's hear it for the original stewards of this land who have opened the space for us all here today. Let's make some noise. So next, we're going to continue on opening up our space. As many of you all know, we are in the middle of one of the holiest holidays for the Jewish people. So we are honored to invite up here. Faith is a tool many of us use. We all know that. We're going to invite up here Rabbi Colin from the congregation Beth Elohim in Brooklyn. So let's give a warm New York welcome to Rabbi Colin.
Shana Tova. That means Happy New Year. I'm so grateful to be standing up here with all of you today to call for the end of fossil fuels and to dream up together a sustainable and livable future. Today is the second day of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, and one of the holiest days of our year. Usually right now, we'd all be home with our families dipping our apples in honey. But let me tell you why instead I'm here today praying with my feet. We call Rosh Hashanah Hayom Harat Olam, the day the world came into being. But it's not day 1 or day 2 of the Torah's creation story. It's day 6, the day that human beings entered the scene. And enter we have. Rosh Hashanah is an echo through time of the moment when humanity's relationship with this created world began. So it's not just relevant, but it is critical that we be here today. And we were offered 2 narratives in the book of Genesis as we are now. Humanity was told we could, 1, conquer the earth and rule it, own it, use it, take and take and take from it. Or 2, a counter narrative, Ovda ul Shomra. We could nurture it and protect it, care for it and plant it, and be its stewards. We are here today as Jews because our tradition calls us to be Shomrei Adama, protectors of the land, for our destiny is wrapped up with it. And because we know that this moment is an urgent one, our planet is aching, our future is undecided, and this is going to take all of us. So today, we join hands with people of all faiths and of no faith, all ages and races and even political leanings, to call upon you, President Biden, as a leader, as a grandfather, to see what we see, to stand with us, and to do what you, Mr. President, are singularly positioned to do. The fossil fuel industry is choosing to rule and conquer and take and take and take without limit. And so waters are rising, and the skies are turning a choking orange, and the heat is taking lives, and the most vulnerable are in the most danger. But you, Mr. President, can choose the other path, to be and make our country a protector of this earth, and so pull us back from the brink. We urge you to use your power to end fossil fuel extraction, to ignite a just transition to green energy, and to choose the people and our children and our future over big oil's greed. Friends, a better and more livable future and world is just on the horizon. It is being born right this second. We can feel it. So now let's build it. Shana Tova, and may this be the day that we look back on and tell our children with joy, we did this for you. Shana Tova.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now it feels like we've had a proper opening. What do you all think? That's right. So before we move forward with some speakers, I'm going to do a little bit of interpretation access. Para mis compañeros y compañeras que necesitan interpretación, ahora voy a dar el número de teléfono y código para que puedan llamar y escuchar interpretación de español a inglés. ¿Ok? Saquen su celular ahorita para anotar este número. Van a llamar al 646-876-9923. Voy a repetir el número de teléfono. 646-876-9923. Ok, cuando llamen ahí les van a pedir un código y van a entrar este código 831-0109-0551 y van a poder escuchar y tener interpretación para todos los que van a venir a hablar aquí. So, muchas gracias a todos.
All right, how are we feeling? The program has just begun. Right now I'm going to call a young lady to the stage. Adoran Sola and the Peace Poet, coming out of Brownsville Green Justice and No North Brooklyn Pipeline Alliance. Make some noise as we receive them.
Hello, beautiful people. We are here to sing and use our voices in unison to weave the world that we are forming into being. So I see all of you beautiful people at the back. I want to hear your voices, okay? All right. So we have a song that goes like this. We are the movement, liberation moving for every single human. We have come to win.
Say, we are the movement.
We are the movement, liberation moving
for every
single human. We have come to win.
Sing it loud. We are
the movement.
Liberation.
Liberation movement.
For every
single human.
Tell them we have come.
We have come to win.
Let New York hear you.
We are the movement. Liberation moving for every single human. We have come to win.
Sing that for all our children. Come on.
We are the movement. Liberation moving for every single human. We have come to win.
Sing that for the land.
We are the movement. Liberation moving for every single human. We have come.
Sing that with all your love. Let me hear y'all.
We are the movement. Liberation moving for every single human. We have come to win.
For all our children we sing.
We are the movement. Liberation moving for every single human. We have come to win.
We are the movement.
Come on, let me hear you. Liberation moving for every single human. We have come to win. much for yourselves. Now we have one more chant, but before we start, I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. We know that the future we are fighting into being is being birthed here. We can no longer take the inaction. We have to bring all of ourselves to the front lines. Our anger, our joy, our hope for a better future. We have to bring all of it.
Come on.
All of it. Okay, well, we don't have time for a second song, actually. I'm so sad about it, but I just wanted to say, continue using your voice, your power. That is how we make our changes in this world. This is how we create our movements.
This summer, I took a bus ride to Washington, and we had such a wonderful time with the climate people in Washington, and I met a wonderful, gentle soul. And she's here with us today. She has one of the sweetest voices you'll ever hear. Make some noise for Rashida Zona!
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rashida Sibley Ozan. I am the founder, director, and CEO of the Vessel Project of Louisiana. I'm also the Gulf Fossil Finance Coordinator for Texas Campaign for the Environment Fund. I just want to say this is truly amazing, and thank you all so much for coming out, giving up your Sunday to be here, because the time is now. We are all here to say that enough is enough. The way to right wrongs is to shine a light of truth on them. On August the 9th, 2023, President Joe Biden bold-faced lied and said that he had declared a climate emergency. As we all know, the president has not declared a climate emergency. What he has declared is a way for oil and gas to further exacerbate the climate crisis. What he has done is sit back and allow his spineless Federal Energy Regulatory Commission to continue to approve new LNG facilities in communities of color. What President Biden has done is allow for the Mountain Valley Pipeline to be approved. He has allowed for bedrock environmental law, NEPA, to be gutted. Enough is enough with this cowardly president. If President Biden is not going to do the job that we voted him in office to do, we are going to vote him out of office. He likes to hide under agencies like the EPA and FERC and the Department of Transportation. But we know that he has the ultimate power of the pen. If he declares a climate emergency and stops the approval of all new extractive industry, then all of our communities will be better for it. President Biden, we are holding you personally accountable for the climate-induced disasters that our communities have faced. The record-breaking wildfires in Louisiana and Hawaii, the record-breaking flooding, record-breaking hurricanes year after year after year. You can no longer call these natural disasters because every one of them makes history. What's causing these disasters to be so historic is the amount of fossil fuel extractive industries that are surrounding these communities. If you continue to build on wetlands, these storms are going to come further inland, and it's going to continue to destroy our homes and our families. Enough is enough, President Biden. It is time for us to have this president who sits high on a throne and looks down on us and only uses black, brown, and indigenous folk for photo ops and his little puppets when he wants a picture. It is time out. We will no longer march to the White House and take pictures with you so you can put in your repertoire. Come down to our communities and see how we are living. As a black woman and as a single mom of 6 children and a new grandbaby, I understand what it's like to live on the front line of climate change. My children have asthma. My sister was diagnosed with cancer. President Biden, how would you like it if it was your family that was dying? You have heard the words of Sharon Levine. She has told you about the folks who are dying in Cancer Alley. You've heard the words of John Beard as he talks about the communities in Port Arthur. You've heard Joe and Joy Banner talk about our ancestors and how our ancestral lands are being taken over. You've heard Mari talk about his farm and how MVP is building this pipeline. But President Biden, you might not know these people because to you they're ordinary folks. But these are frontline leaders who are making a difference, and it's time that you listen to them. You have the ultimate power. It is time that you recognize the climate emergency that we are in. Declare a climate emergency and allocate funding to communities that are overburdened by the extractive industries called oil and gas. Allow for funding to come into these communities so that we can be more sustainable, so that we can rebuild, so that we can have the resources that we need. We are not just throwaway people. We are not sacrifices. We organized this event today. This is organizing at its best. We are human beings. You will no longer be allowed to separate our fights and declare in different places like the Arctic that there will no longer be fossil fuel extraction. Declare it everywhere. All of us are important. And I'll close with a quote for all of you great people who continuously fight every day, who give your blood, sweat, and tears. And I know personally that sometimes it feels like we're not winning, but I want you to look around. We've won already. This quote is from Harriet Tubman. And as I'm saying this quote, and there may not be space, but I want you all to know how many of the frontline folks are here from the Gulf Coast. They're over here in the corner. For too long, organizations and funders have stood on stages and talked about what was happening in our communities. They've tried to represent us. We don't need representation. We can represent ourselves. So we came out to tell our stories. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, the passion, and the reach to be able to reach for the stars and to change the world. The change starts with us, and we are doing it. Congratulations, you're winning. Thank you. Let's make some noise for the gold. And let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing, just to pull it out from what Roy Sheda just shared with us. There is one person on earth that could change the course of history. And he's not going to that meeting this week. And his name is President Biden. Next up, I want to invite our next guest speakers coming from the front lines of the Mountain Valley Pipeline fight. One of the greatest tragedies of the Biden administration was that he allowed this project to be forced through. So I invite now Amber and Danger to the stage.
Hi, my name is Danger Winslow, and I'm 8 years old. I am here today to let the world know how disappointed I am in Joe Biden for lying, and not for keeping his word. He needs to declare a climate emergency now. My life matters more than the money landing in the pockets of the corporate buttheads behind the MVP. I'm too young to die for corporate greed. You can't drink oil. Water is sacred, water is life. Without water, we have no future. Oh yeah, and free Leonard Peltier! Now my mom is speaking.
Beautiful hello, my friends. My name is Amber Meredith. 2 years ago, I never imagined I'd find myself in this position, standing before so many of you. I still feel inadequate to speak on such matters compared to those who have come before me, those that inspire me. However, I owe it to my family from 7 Directions of Service and Team Danger from Power Coalition to bring attention to the battle they've all been fighting for the last decade. An atrocity that we now know as the Mountain Valley Pipeline and the Southgate Extension. A pipeline that is billions of dollars over budget and years behind schedule. A pipeline that was able to buy its way into must-pass legislation that had nothing to do with the federal budget. These industries breed nothing but violence. They contaminate our air so we can't breathe, our water so we can't drink, and our land so we get sick. The fossil fuel and other destructive extractive industries, along with their man camps, have been proven to have connections to the MMIP epidemic. The murdered, missing, and indigenous peoples epidemic steals our women, children, and two-spirit relatives from us at an alarming rate. These corporate politicians, these corrupt politicians, and their blind followers scream about how we need to protect the children. Well, here you have a child, my child, who is afraid of the future because of corporate greed. If children are our future, we should be investing in them and their dreams instead of selling their chance at life to fossil fuel corporations like the Mountain Valley Pipeline. Our children are watching us, and we should act accordingly. Stand up and fight back. In closing, I want to show my love, gratitude, and respect for my sister, Dr. Crystal Cavalier, the founder of 7 Directions of Service. I would like to honor her vision of 7 Directions of Service and bringing you all together in a chant. This chant will be in her language, Ya Ye Sa Sahine. When I say Mani Inise, you say water is alive. Say it with your whole chest so the world can hear the beauty that is our unity. Mani Inise. Mani Inise. Mani Inise. Mani Inise.
Make some noise, make some noise, make some noise. Come on, make some noise. Make some noise. Repeat after me. Biden, get off it. Get out of fossil fuel. Biden, get off it. Get out of fossil fuel. Biden, get off it. Get out of fossil fuel. Biden, get off it. Get out of fossil fuel. Now make some noise like you mean it. I thank Amber and Danger for their presentation. Weren't they wonderful? And we need fossil fuel to come to an end. We need Biden's administration to listen to us. And the only way they're going to listen to us is if we keep speaking, shouting out, taking it to the street, letting them know that it's our time now. Our next speaker is coming to speak truth to power. I welcome Helen to the stage.
Hi, everyone. I'm Helen. I'm a 16-year-old organizer with Fridays for Future in New York City. I started protesting for climate justice when I was 11. The first sign I made was for the 2019 school strike here in New York City. It said, "We deserve a future." And I'm here today still fighting for that same future. I am just one of the many young people who organized this march and spent their summers building youth turnout. Today, young people are here in massive numbers because we are out of time. In 2020, a record number of us showed up to the polls and put Biden in office. After 4 years of Trump, we were ready to elect a president who promised to end drilling on federal lands and finally address this climate crisis. Yet, in his 2.5 years as president, Biden has gone back on these promises. He greenlit the Willow Project. He skipped environmental review to build the devastating Mountain Valley Pipeline. And he approved countless other fracked gas pipelines and projects in Alaska and the Gulf Coast. His refusal to let go of fossil fuels is destroying us. America's oil and gas expansion makes up 1/3 of the entire global expansion planned through 2050. This is what's pushing us over the 1.5-degree warming threshold that is required to maintain a habitable planet. Because of this, crises are multiplying. This summer alone, New York City's skies turned orange. Libya is flooded. Maui has burned. And countless people died from heat and extreme weather. This is the world Biden and his peers have left for us. But this is not the world we are going to accept. This Friday, over 1 million of us across the globe protested to end fossil fuels. And today, there are tens of thousands of us out here with one simple message for Biden. You have the executive authority to end oil and gas expansion and keep these fossil fuels in the ground. In 2024, we will be the most powerful voting bloc in the nation. Young people will be. You need our votes to stay in power. And that's why we're demanding you work with us. You declare a climate emergency. You end all drilling right now. You're going to make new promises that are going to empower young people to turn out in 2024 once again. These promises will transition us to community-based renewable energy built by green union jobs. There is not enough time to put this off another term, and all of us will keep up the pressure until it's done. Thank you.
Let's hear it, New York! Let me ask you a quick question. How many people y'all think are here? 1,000? 2,000? 3,000? 10,000? 50,000 people or more. It is my great honor to introduce our next speaker, who has been with us, the climate movement, since before day one. From New York's 14th Congressional District. That's right! New York! Make some noise for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez!
What's up, New York? Let's hear it all the way uptown. What's up, New York? Thank you all so much for being here. My name is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I'm the Congresswoman for New York's 14th Congressional District, repping the Bronx and Queens. Do we have any outer borough out here? Got the BX in the building, Queens in the building. I'm so honored to be here today, shoulder to shoulder with you all, because we are all here for the same purpose, to protect the planet, the people, and make sure that we end fossil fuels across the globe. Most importantly, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here and for showing up in force. It means something when people say, oh, we're thinking $5,000, $10,000 people are going to be here, and 50,000, 70,000 people show up. That means something, because we are in rooms, and I'm in rooms in Washington all the time, where people say that they have a commitment to this issue, but we need urgency on this issue right now. Right now. And the way that we create urgency on the issue of climate is when we have people all across the world in the streets, showing up, demanding change, and demanding a cessation of what is killing us. We have to send the message that some of us are going to be living on this planet 30, 40, 50 years from now, and we will not take no for an answer. Climate must be a centerpiece of inside and outside organizing, an electoral and a popular force that cannot be ignored. This issue is
is one of the issues, the biggest issue of our time, and because of that, we must be too big and too radical to ignore. The first piece of legislation I introduced in 2019 was the Green New Deal, which demanded a 10-year timeline. And at the time, people said it was too naive and too unrealistic, and we didn't take no for an answer. We still won't take no for an answer. Since then, we have organized and hit some milestones. Here in New York, organizers won commitments for 100% renewables by 2040. We've made sure new buildings will be fully electric, ensured that not only will new energy be renewable, but it will be available as public, democratically controlled goods for our most vulnerable communities. Because what we're not going to do is go from oil barons to solar barons. This belongs to the people. What we're not going to do is have vulnerable communities in a fossil fuel economy be left behind in a new economy. We are demanding a change so that working people get better jobs and lower bills under a renewable energy economy. That is what we are here to make sure that we achieve. We're going to make sure that this transition is union jobs, organized labor, dignity at the center. And we're going to make sure that we continue that fight. But the powers that be are there, and it is real, and it is against us. Right now, the United States continues to be approving record number of fossil fuel leases, and we must send the message right here, today, right now, that that has got to end today. We know they're raking in record profits, but the popular support for climate is starting to buckle and crack that overall grip that the fossil fuel establishment has had in our politics. And that's because of you. Because of you. Don't let the cynics win. The cynics want us to think that this isn't worth it. The cynics want us to believe that we can't win. The cynics want us to believe that organizing doesn't matter, that our political system doesn't matter, that our economy doesn't matter. And we're here to say that we organize out of hope. We organize out of commitment. We organize out of love. We organize out of the beauty of our future. And we will not give up. We will not let go. We will not allow cynicism to prevail. We will not allow our visions of a collaborative economy, of dignity for working people, of honoring the black, brown, indigenous, white working class. We will not give up. And that is what we are here to do today, to tell our leaders, from President Biden to the UN General Assembly, to all of our elected officials, that we demand a change. It will happen now. It begins today. It is occurring today, and it's because of you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Keep marching, and we're going to accomplish this. See ya.
Some noise, New York! All right, up next, we're going to transition. We're going to keep this party going, New York, right? That's right. That's right. We have a very special performer here today for all of you. The Tony Award-winning playwright, activist, performer, and author, of the Vagina Monologues who changed my life when I was in college. We have the honor of inviting V to come and perform on stage. Please, a warm New York welcome to V.
Hello, New York! I'm so honored to be here today with all of you. 30 years ago, I wrote the Vagina Monologues, and I learned the power of art, music, to change minds, to transform bodies, and to end violence. Now we're working on a musical, Justin Tranter, Carolyn Pinnell, and Diane Paulus, about the most important issue of our time, climate change. It's a musical called Wild, and it will premiere in 2024. It's a musical about how youth in this town are rising up to take back the planet and end the destruction of it. And today I am so thrilled to give you a sneak preview of our song that's in the center of the musical called Panic. It's our dream that this will lift our movement. And I'm here to introduce our amazing cast, Edie Paravi and Luke Ferrari. Please welcome them.
This is for President Biden. We hope you can hear us.
We dedicate this performance to the youth that are here today.
Pawning off the earth like it's an object you can own. No consideration that it's someone else's home. Animals get tired, cause all the evil's come. And all the trees and rivers, they will slowly come undone. And we're angry.
Yeah, we're angry.
And we're sad.
Yeah, we're sad.
We can't believe it.
No, we can't.
It's the only earth we have.
Cutting through the private parts of nature. Oily men in suits will tell you to sign the papers. Mother Earth is asking why suddenly you hate her. Gathered here today, demanding that you save her, 'cause we're angry.
Yeah, we're angry.
And we're sad.
Yeah, we're sad. We can't believe it.
No, we can't.
It's the only earth we have.
We want you to panic.
We want you to act. You stole our future and we want it back. We want you to panic. We want you to act. You stole our future and we want it back. Sing with us next time.
Gas and methane leak from machines into our homes, polluting everything from the air down to our bones, bargaining a fate that nobody really knows, sacrifice our only chance of ever getting old. Of course we're angry.
Of course we're angry.
And we're sad. It should be obvious.
It should be obvious.
Have you gone mad?
You must be mad. We want you to panic. We want you to act. You stole our future and we want it back. We want you to panic. We want you to act. You stole our future and we want it.
Come on, sing with us.
We want you to panic. We want you to act. You stole our future and we want it back. We want you to panic. We want you to act. You stole our future and we want it. We want it back. We want you to panic. We want you to act. You stole our future and we want it back. And fossil fuels. Panic. We want you to act. You stole our future and we want it. We want it back.
Let's hear it for Panic. How many of y'all remember how hot it was this summer? How hot was it? So hot that hundreds of people died just from having to go to work. And that is not right. We should not risk our lives just because we need to go to work. We are so honored and privileged today to invite members of labor to stand beside us to make the call to end fossil fuels. Yeah, let's hear it up for labor. I have the great honor to invite up Chris Silvera, the longest serving principal officer of the Teamsters local right here, 808, Long Island. Let's give it up.
Wow. You look beautiful. Thank you for your concern. Thank you for being here, because we all could have done something else today, so I appreciate you. First of all, let me just say thank you to my Ayatsi brothers and sisters who are here. This is a union stage. We're not like them other people. We got to remember SAG and AFTRA and the UAW. Where's my union brothers and sisters standing up? This is a workers' fight. It is the poor, it is the working class that suffers with these fossil fuel devils. We have to move on. And I'm going to tell you something. If you elected 300 more AOCs, if you elected a president that thought like AOC, if you elected a Senate, I'm not talking about Democrats and Republicans, I'm talking about servants of the people. And labor has to be in the vanguard of this struggle, because we have the resources, we have the organization, we have the power to join together with poor communities, with indigenous communities, to say no to any more pipelines. No, because we can live without oil, but we can't live without water. We can live without oil, but we need clean air. And we are here as labor to stand in solidarity with, let me do the count right quick. Woo, look like about 75,000 people. We are here with you. Power belongs to the people. To the people belongs the power. When you go to the polls, don't vote R, don't vote D. Vote for people like AOC. Power to you.
I got lost a while ago. Sorry. I'm back. Let's make some noise for UAW. Come on. Send support for them. I just got an update. That's what caused me to be late. The press is saying we now have 75,000 people in the street. Did you hear me? 75,000 people are tired of the foolishness. So, I want you all to text action 51905. One more time. Text action 51905. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. at Zucker Park, the biggest civil disobedience rally will be in New York City. Help your seniors. Help people who have challenges. And get them out tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and we are going to show the Biden administration what people power is all about. The party still goes on, and right now I am okay, right now our next speaker will be Vanessa. Make some noise for Vanessa. Come on, make some noise.
Thank you so much. Before stepping here, my friend and sister, Helena Gwelinga, an Ecuadorian environmental and human rights activist from the Kichwa Sarayaku community, said something to me that everyone here and beyond needs to hear. She said, we should look at Ecuador that just voted out an active oil project in the Yasuni rainforest. This is the first example of climate democracy. She added and said, this is what phase out of fossil fuels looks like. They are now protecting the most diverse place on this planet, and this was led by youth and indigenous people. This is why there is no climate justice without indigenous people. In 2020, I wrote a letter to President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris that said, all we really want is a livable and healthy planet, an equitable and sustainable present and future. Is that too much to ask? This letter received a lot of support, but I was also trolled for it. Those that trolled focused on the pen that wrote it and ignored the message. They preferred the perfection in which it could have been delivered and ignored the bigger picture. For them, it wasn't about the message. It was about who wrote it and how it was written. I have learned that this world hasn't been changed and transformed by perfect people. It has been transformed by people who dreamed and envisioned a better world for all of us. It has been transformed by people who stood so that we stand, people who believed so that we believe, people who dreamed so that we dream. I was 23 when I wrote that letter, and now I'm 26. My older self fully understands why I wrote it. My younger self was worried for the future of the planet, communities, and people on the front lines of the climate crisis. On September 10, Storm Daniel dumped more than 2 feet of rain on parts of Greece. But as it traveled over the Mediterranean, it was boosted by sea temperatures that were 2 to 3 degrees warmer than average for early September. That extra warmth fueled stronger winds and allowed the air to hold even more moisture. The storm turned into a Mediterranean storm with the characteristics of a tropical cyclone. As Storm Daniel approached Libya, the storm dumped rain over the mountains above the coastal city of Dana. In one place, more than a foot of rain fell in 24 hours. 2 dams that had been constructed in the hills above Dana collapsed. A torrent of water swept down the hills and through the city. Thousands of people were dragged out to sea. Huge sections of the city were completely destroyed, and bodies are still washing up on the beaches. And now aid workers fear that a second humanitarian crisis is unfolding as the citizens of Dana face the growing risk of waterborne diseases amidst medicine and food shortages. 2 days after Daniel tore through Dana, a report by Oil Change International showed that just 20 countries are responsible for nearly 90% of extraction from new oil and gas fields planned between 2030 and 2050. 5 global north countries with the greatest economic means to rapidly phase out production are responsible for a majority, 51%, of planned expansion from new oil and gas fields through 2050. That is the United States, Canada, Australia, Norway, and the United Kingdom. The United States alone accounts for more than 1/3 of planned global oil and gas expansion through 2050. Historically, the United States is responsible for 29% of global greenhouse gas emissions. The entire continent of Africa, 54 individual countries, is responsible for less than 4%. This is wrong. This is not climate leadership. This is throwing a party when you know that your neighbor is mourning. The global north has long benefited from the extraction of fossil fuels, and over again, the global south has suffered the consequences. Well, I am now here to say to the fossil fuel industry, not anymore. We are here to say to big oil CEOs, not anymore. We call upon countries, and in particular the United States, to end new development of fossil fuels that are destroying livelihoods and lives, because we cannot eat coal and we cannot drink oil. Today, I am not writing another letter to the President, as the last one must have got lost in the mail. I'm standing on the strength of service and the strength of community to ask the President of the United States to do the right thing, to be the climate leader that the United States needs to be. We also call upon leaders at COP28 to agree on a just and equitable phase-out of fossil fuels. We will not stand by and let this destruction continue to happen. We will not stand by and let our communities to be destroyed. We will not stand by and let people's lives get lost as climate disasters become worse, because we refuse to accept that anymore. So as a community, we have the power to stand together and say not anymore. Because when we come together and gather like this and speak together, I hear revolution. When we chant and say, what do we want? And we say we want climate justice, I see a revolution. And change happens because of people who come on the streets. And we've seen that in the past. We'll see it today, and we'll see it in the years to come. Thank you so much.
Listen, I don't think we're giving enough love to Vanessa Nakate. Vanessa Nakate is one of the leading youth voices of the global south. Okay, guys? Where my family is from, where so many New York families are from. Vanessa, thank you so much. New York, how we feeling? That does not sound like 75,000 people. New York, how we feeling? All right, that's a little better, that's a little better. One last chance. New York, how we feeling? So, y'all came ready to take some action today. We thank you. Before I introduce our next performer, we're going to all take out our little computers in our pockets because we're going to send a message directly to President Biden right now, who with the stroke of a pen can phase out fossil fuels, can stop federal approvals, can declare a climate emergency, and he can accelerate a just transition. Am I right? You heard? Great. So take out your little pocket computers, and you're going to open up your web browser. You're going to go to bit.ly/end fossil fuels now. So it's going to be bit.ly end fossil fuels right now. And that'll let him know. Put him on blast. Am I right, New York? Great. So y'all do that. I'll repeat it one more time. bit.ly/end fossil fuels now. And don't forget to capitalize those first few letters of each word. Great. Second, I want to invite all 75,000 of you to tomorrow. We're going to be in Zuccotti Park at 10 a.m. Let me hear some noise. Zuccotti Park, we are planning a mass civil disobedience to turn up the heat on the first day of the United Nations General Assembly. Who's going to be there? I can't hear all those people in the back. Who's going to be here? Zuccotti Park, 10 a.m. sharp. Great. Third, we want y'all to stay with us, okay? Stay with us. We want you to be part of this fight until we win, because we know there's no world unless we win, okay? So make sure you stay connected. And lastly, I want to invite one of the organizers, a dear friend of mine. Hold on. I'm blanking. Ethan Buckner. Thank y'all. Ethan Buckner. Let's hear it for Ethan Buckner.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ethan Buckner, one of the organizers of the march today, here with Earthworks and Music Declares Emergency, because there's no music on a dead planet. I'm going to play a song that I released today. It's called Eyes on the Prize. And I want to dedicate this to a dear friend and a warrior in our movement who we lost this year. Her name was Joy Braun. Her family is here with us in the front. Remember Joy. This is Eyes on the Prize. Awake,
underneath hollow bed sheets, fireworks